It's time once again for the Brew. Jersey Joe, Ion, and you back once again with another powerful edition of the Brew. Question, are you having a problem hailing an Uber or Lyft or a rideshare where you live? That's a question put on social media this week. What are your tips for hailing one? Or maybe you're not having a problem at all. Congratulations, you are a winner. Let us know what your thoughts are on this one. Join a live conversation right now. Joel's out there in Vegas, and Vegas is one town that absolutely depends on rideshares like here in the New York City metro area. So you have any problems out there with it?
Yeah, so out here there's actually a huge shortage, and I'm sure you're going to say the same thing to me about New York. But yeah, so I only used it one time since the shit hit the fan. We'll just call that. This is what the period we're in. But yeah, I only used it one time. It took twice as long as it normally takes. Where I was trying to go was about 15 minutes away, and it took about 30. And I was late to meet who I was meeting up with. So it wasn't cool. I did try to take it one other time, and it said that it was going to take like 15 minutes just for a car to get to me. And where I'm at, it usually takes like 3 to 5. So, yeah, big time difference.
Absolutely is the same thing what's happening here. There's a major shortage on drivers. Same deal. Usually here, in the metro area, I should be able to hail one, and you get it like in 4 minutes. Well, a couple times a weekend on Saturday night, we were trying to go down to bowling in Bayonne for my birthday, and it was like 20 minutes. Then it became 30 minutes. We got one down there, and it came. But coming back, this is 8 o'clock on a Saturday night in the New York City metro area. And again, it was like 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, a half an hour, then it was 35 minutes. And we weren't out in the middle of nowhere, so we gave up and ended up taking the light rail. But that's absolutely what's happening here, and it seems to be happening around most of the country. But the question is, Joel, do you know why?
The pandemic.
Besides that, yeah, good answer. That's it. But there's 3 big reasons I looked it up. So number one, a lot of the drivers have stopped delivering, just being an Uber driver, and they now do Uber Eats or other delivery food services. So they make good money delivering food where they don't have to worry about passengers. The second thing is a lot of these drivers are making as much money on unemployment as they would driving a car. So why not sit back on your couch and collect instead of actually having to go out and work because the extra stimulus funds, that's going away soon. Then the last thing, which I thought was even crazier, all these people had to give up their cars during the pandemic because they couldn't pay the lease anymore and they couldn't get an extension. So they lost their cars, so they stopped driving. I mean, it's kind of sad.
Well, that's how a lot of those companies work. I actually checked into that to see how they work because I wasn't exactly comfortable taking them for a little while. I had to make sure everything was safe. But those companies just lease out cars to people. People get involved in those with no money at all, coming over here usually from different countries or just people who have had a long line of work and being effed out of a pandemic, So, yeah, I can see why that happens. And then unemployment being that number, that's kind of a question why people are getting paid so low. Why are they getting paid numbers that you can get paid the same to do nothing? Because we have enough money. Think about it.
Well, clearly they have enough money because there's incentives now to get people back to driving a car. For example, Uber or Lyft is giving you an $800 flat just for getting back on the service and doing a ride. Here's $800 or promise to do X amount of rides. There's $800, and then Uber is planning a whole stimulus package to entice drivers back. So yeah, it's definitely it's an issue. I mean, it's down almost 40-some% around here in drivers, in the first 3 months of this year, on top of losing people last year.
Yeah, those are tricks that they used to use back a long time ago when I checked into it. So although they weren't nearly $800, they weren't even that high up. It was just little stuff. It was the first couple months you get X amount or blah, 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 just to try and get people into it. But yeah, I could see it.
I guess the bonus is, though, if you drive rideshare, Uber, Lyft, at least hopefully you would make something back in tips, especially if you do it here on a Saturday night, or especially in a Vegas Strip. There's got to be good tips to be made.
Yeah. These people make, they or before the pandemic at least, they made reasonable money.
Got to make sure that you tip your driver and tip those people that work for you in the service industry. That's unfortunately they work hard for you, so make sure they're if they earn it, if they deserve to earn it, make sure they're taken care of. Well, let's take care of your comments because you had a lot to say on this hot button issue here in the Brew. So Starman comments, he says, I always have a problem getting one, but I live in the middle of nowhere. It's just easier to drive. Nicole comments, it's tourist season here, so it can take anywhere for 1 hour to 3 hours to get an Uber. She lives in Florida. Really mad treat. My dad says it's been really bad in Vegas lately. It's been almost 2 years since I've used one, so I don't know about here in the Indianapolis area. MMSHK1357 sent me something. I believe this is either Chinese and or Japanese, and I can't read it or translate it. So, I mean, unless your dog knows how to translate it, Joel will have to pass on that one. James says, I very rarely had a problem. Only issue I can think of is finding a driver in the tough, crowded area, and sometimes it's my fault. I'm not clear where I am, which isn't easy. Is that a problem out there, though? Is it because so many people are back in Vegas that if there is one driver, they're canceling and like trying to get more rides? Is anything like that happening?
No, not necessarily. Well, at least not right now. But before the pandemic, I had heard a couple drivers talk about that, but only in like really busy times. So like they're trying to get like they know they can get a little bit better tip than they're doing something a little bit different, or they're canceling on you because of what area you're in.
That's the only problem I used to have here is if I was trying to get an Uber or Lyft in New York City, they didn't want to go under the tunnel and go to Jersey. They would show up to pick me up and then cancel at the last second once they see where your destination is, which is terrible. But you know, they add the toll on in the fee, but they just didn't want to do that. So that was like my only really big frustration. But you know, they kind of beat the taxi rate for years, and now it's like the other way around. Now taxis are actually like winning this war, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, the law of averages, they push the law all the way to a certain point, and then now you're, depending on how much value you put into each side, now your competition's back in it. So cabs are fair game now.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Let's get a couple more of your comments. It's Brian25. The issue right now is that the drivers are being more awkward by starting a small conversation, even though I just want to get to my destination. Well, isn't it Uber that has like the no chatting button in the app?
Yeah.
Like you can actually like put that in your preferences that you're not a talker.
Yeah, that's one of the newer features of Uber. But I'm sure that people just want the tip. They just want the tip just for a second, just to see how it feels.
Hey, I'll talk to the guys on somebody picks me up now. You don't have really an option, so it's okay just get it. Hey, remember my favorite Uber ride you and I ever took was down in Hawaii. We had that Tesla pick us up. Oh my God, that car was a sexy car. I don't have any B-roll of it though. Remember how great it was?
Sure, yeah.
No, you don't. We were all liquored up. That's why we were taking that Uber.
You need a cheeseburger.
Yeah. That's a story for a different web show. And finally, though, Rockford Guitar says, bastards destroy taxi services, and now they're screwing both drivers and the public. Boycott the effers. I'm not up to boycotting them. It's just, okay, right now, taxis have more availability than Uber Lyft. So I'm not like anti-rideshare, are you?
No, I'm just not really depending on them right now. So mine's more of supply demand.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Like I said, we couldn't get one here. We took the Hudson Bergen light rail and was able to get home. A little bit of a walk, but okay, that's what you had to do before Ubers even existed. So we're kind of having to like take a step back. But you don't want to take a step, though. You want to take a step forward and click that like subscribe button down below for all the fun here on the Jersey 250 YouTube channel. There's the deal at the bottom of the screen, like President Biden says. I don't know where I'm going with that, but click that like subscribe button down below and join the fun here each and every week. And hopefully this situation will wrap up soon. We're all getting back to traveling here. I'm looking forward to my Vegas trip in a couple weeks. I really am looking forward to my Vegas trip in a couple weeks. I know you're traveling too, so baby steps.
Oh, man, I can't wait. I cannot wait to be out somewhere. Nice. Someone wants us to wrap the show up.
That was outstanding, sir, in the semi-truck stuck at the red light out here. They're still running just fine. All right, Jersey Joe 9 here saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, I hope.